Hello, you're clear of the Sunday's edition of QPVN English News Bulletin. You're with Milinchi, and here come the headlines. Science, technology, innovation, digital transformation to be augmented. Air Defense Division 361 BESTOWED first-class fatherland protection order. Vietnam and the U.S. advance reciprocal trade agreement talks. On the morning of May the 17th, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, head of the government's Steering Committee on Developing Science, Technology, Innovation and Digital Transformation and Project 06 chaired the second session of the committee. Over the past time, the government and the Prime Minister have urgently directed the development and promulgation of Resolution 57's action program. The program was developed with a long-term and comprehensive vision, clear goals and feasible solutions to concretize the party's major orientations and policies. The Central Military Commission and Ministry of National Defense set the goal of being the nation's leading group in developing science, technology, innovation and digital transformation in the military by 2030, with the number of areas reaching international standards, mastering strategic technology and digital technology, enhance the autonomy in designing, manufacturing, improving and modernizing weapons and high-tech equipment, developing strategic weapons, improving capabilities, assessing the world's high technology, and comprehensively carrying out management, command and operation activities in the digital environment. Air Defense Division 361 under the Air Defense Air Force Service held a ceremony on the morning of May the 17th to mark its 60th birthday day and received the first-class Fatherland Protection Order. Senior Lieutenant General Huy Vịnh, Deputy Minister of National Defense, addressed the event. Air Defense Division 361, also known as Hanoi Air Defense Division, was established on May 19, 1965, right on the 75th birthday of President Ho Chi Minh. The 60-year journey of construction, combat and development of the division is closely linked to the glorious victory and feats of arms of the Air Defense Air Force and the heroic Vietnam People's Army. In peacetime, the unit always fulfills its mission of combat readiness, airspace management, manage the air defense posture and air defense combat plans to protect important targets and key projects of the country. Senior Lieutenant General Huy Vịnh requested that in the coming time, the unit needs to be proactively improving the quality of task performance, especially training, combat readiness and airspace management, always stay vigilant in all situations. To help improve education infrastructure and raise local living standards in RB, Vietnam's Level 2 Military Engineering Company Rotation 3 has donated a set of modern office equipment, including a laptop, a printer, and a projector, to the local sector of education. Additionally, the team handicrafted 15 student desks and chairs using recycled materials, showcasing the skills and dedication of the Vietnamese Blue Berets. The furniture was gifted to a primary school in Bay Town, bringing joy and better learning conditions for the children. The Bay Head of Education expressed heartfelt thanks to the meaningful and timely support, further strengthening the bonds between the local community and the Vietnamese peacekeeping force. As part of the defense cooperation between Vietnam and Australia, the Combat Shooting Skills Training Exchange was recently held at National Military Training Center 4. That is one of the practical activities contributing to enhancing understanding and training experience sharing between the two militaries. The program is also an opportunity for officers of the two countries to exchange and connect for the goal of peace, cooperation, and development. Since the very first day of training, the program focused on providing trainees with basic shooting theory, especially psychological control skills under pressure. Australian experts shared their experience in adjusting breathing techniques when psychologically affected or trigger pulling techniques when breathing is unstable. For me, mental stability is important. Only when we're calm and relaxed can we shoot more accurately. Such exchange program allows me to learn a lot from the experience of my comrades and improve my shooting skills. The training program included 10 basic lessons with 4 types of guns, focusing on safety rules, shooting theory, recoil control skills, camouflage, and exploring terrain in combat. The open-minded spirit and willingness to learn from each other continues to be an important bridge for long-term and effective cooperation.
Yeah, we've been very impressed by their willingness to learn and also ask why we're doing the drills that we do. It's been fantastic sharing the knowledge and some of the drills and learning from each other throughout the week.
Well, Australia and Vietnam have been working together in a defence context now for over 25 years. And I think over time we have developed into some really great practical exercises. And this activity that we're doing here is really the highlight for us of our practical cooperation that we are doing.
After more than a week of training, the program ended with many positive results, leaving a good impression on the trail instructors and some 60 Vietnamese trainees. The biennial program has been conducted 4 times, affirming the long-term and substantive commitment to training cooperation between the two countries' militaries. After more than 2 months of training, the new soldiers of Division 330 and the Military Reserve 9 are now ready to enter the 3-explosion test period. To achieve the best results, they have undergone hard training on mastering weapons, improving skills on the training ground, and enhancing their mental state. Grenade throwing is considered a difficult training content. Therefore, the soldiers are required to improve strong mental strength and grab techniques to ensure that the grenades move towards the right direction with proper distance. It requires absolute accuracy and quickness in throwing grenades. For me, it takes time to master this skill. Similar to grenade throwing, in the test of explosive charge planting, the recruits are required to master training contents. In addition, the commanding officers have supported their troops to help them perform the right movements and steps. The test of explosive charge requires carefulness, meticulousness, and precision in each action. In addition, soldiers need to complete all steps exactly within time allowance. Along with training in shooting, grenade throwing, and explosive charge planning, the unit pays special attention to improving its troops' physical strength to meet the high-intensity training process in hot weather conditions. Health, skills, and strong mental strength are the keys for recruits to stay ready to enter the 3-explosion test. Coming up next, Vietnam and the U.S. advance reciprocal trade agreement talks. Epic novel series on President Ho Chi Minh launch. In a significant move towards strengthening discussions on the reciprocal trade agreement between the two countries, Vietnamese Minister for Foreign and Trade Nguyễn Hồng Diên and U.S. Trade Representative James Greer held their first in-person ministerial-level negotiation in Jeju, the Republic of Korea. The talks were conducted in a candid, open, and constructive atmosphere, demonstrating strong mutual commitment to fostering a stable economic relationship that harmonizes both nations' interests. The U.S. representative praised Vietnam's proactive and cooperative stance, expressing support for its proposals and negotiation approach. Both sides voiced optimism that upcoming technical discussions will yield practical benefits for citizens and businesses alike. The two ministers reached a consensus on core principles, key topics, and a roadmap for negotiations, laying the groundwork for substantive progress in future rounds. On the occasion of the 135th birth anniversary of President Ho Chi Minh, on the morning of May the 17th, the Central Theoretical Council and President Ho Chi Minh relic site at the Presidential Palace, the literature publishing house Liên Việt Culture and Communication Joint Stock Company co-organized the launching ceremony of the epic novel series Nước Non Vạn Dặm, which literally means the vast land of the nation, consisting of 5 volumes by writer Nguyễn Thế Kỳ. The 5 volumes of the novel series were released in 2022, 2023, 2024, early 2025, and this May, respectively. With meticulous and serious historical, political, and cultural research along with his own experience, the author builds up his main character following the image of Nguyễn Sinh Cung, Nguyễn Tất Thành, Nguyễn Ái Quốc, Hồ Chí Minh. The novel depicts the image of President Ho Chi Minh from the cultural, patriotic, and revolutionary traditions of his homeland, combined with the cultural and revolutionary quintessence of the era to reach the heights of humanity with his patriotic and compassionate thoughts. President Ho Chi Minh is an endless source of aspiration for literature and art. On the occasion of the 105th birth anniversary of President Ho Chi Minh, let's meet Associate Professor Dr. Nguyễn Thế Kỳ to together have a deeper look at the symbol of Ho Chi Minh in literary and artistic works, which have contributed to spreading more strongly the values of his thought, morality, and lifestyle. First of all, thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Nguyễn Thế Kỳ, for joining our program today. Perhaps in the mind of every Vietnamese person, the image of an uncle is always an endless source of aspiration. From the perspective of a critical theory researcher, how did you feel about such image in literary and artistic life over the years?
Nói đến người ấy.
President Ho Chi Minh has become a subject of research by many theories, also a subject for literary and artistic works. Since the country gained independence and freedom in 1945, perhaps music was the first form of art creation about Ho Chi Minh. Many musical works about Uncle were composed at that time, including those by Văn Cao, Hoàng Cung Kỳ, Lý Hữu Phước, Đỗ Nhuận. In terms of poetry, there were also a great deal of compositions by Tố Hữu, Xuân Diệu, Huy Cận, Chế Lan Viên, and many others. Even a boy who composed poetry at the age of 7 or 8 like Trần Đăng Khoa could write, "My house hangs a picture of Uncle. Above is a bright red flag." Then a number of theatrical works about Ho Chi Minh began to be introduced to the public in 1976. Outstandings are Worker No. 1, Sleepless Night, or Death is Not Easy. There are also many cinematic works, including See You Again Saigon, Nguyễn Ái Quốc in Hong Kong, Hanoi in winter 1946. In literature, Xuân Tùng is the one who composed the largest collection of novels and memoirs about him, such as Blue Lotus, Golden Lotus, and many others. In fact, since the time of the national resistance against the French colonialists, there are countless paintings and artworks about President Ho Chi Minh. People built the image of Ho Chi Minh as a soldier, a great leader of the nation, but at the same time, a very close, simple influencer to society. There are many types of literary and artistic works about Uncle, both domestically and internationally. Some among those have been introduced, favored, and translated into foreign languages. Let's take Prison Diary, for example. The content artistic quality may not be fully preserved in translated version, yet people can still feel the value of his thought, the height of cultural and artistic value in his poetry. What's inspired by Uncle are not merely about recording his portrait, life, or career, delving into his thoughts and ideals. In your opinion, it is an inevitable approach when composing works about a great person like Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh spent his love for all mankind, not only his people. Therefore, when writing about Uncle, journalists, poets, writers, musicians, filmmakers, theatre artists, fine artists, or any types of artists must study and work meticulously enough in order to build a great stature but intimate image of Ho Chi Minh. Uncle is simple, but it is those simple things that exude his humanistic, cultural, and ideological values. In fact, the values of President Ho Chi Minh in literature and art have never changed at all. Instead, they are multiplied through people's lens. I think in many more years, even hundreds of years, people will still find internal value about the Vietnamese great leader. The more we learn about him, the more values we find in him. These might not be great discoveries, but small things in his life, which are simplicity and honesty, are like an old fairy. The values of Ho Chi Minh are the values of Vietnam, also the common values of humanity. Therefore, people not only in the country but also abroad can find in him the values that serve both the current and future life. Thank you, sir. It's the end of the English News Bulletin today. You can watch the news again at qpvn.vn. For goodbye and see you next time.